the bigger picture of what our security forces have been able to do. While there are rogue security officers that have caused a lot of pain to Kenyans, but there are those that have really stood very firm to protect this country from going into anarchy, and by making sure they abided by keeping law and order without also violating the rights of our protesters as enshrined in the Constitution. I say this because I watched a very emotional video, Mr. Speaker, sir, where an armed police officer with a gun, with everything, was chased down the street. He could have opted to use the gun to protect himself, but accepted to be clobbered by the mob for the sake of making sure that extrajudicial killing does not happen. And we have such security officers that we must applaud and also share our sympathies with them for doing an excellent job. Mr. Speaker, sir, allow me to also congratulate General Z for the unprecedented success in this country. And what they have achieved over a few days is going to go down the democratic space of this country as an indelible mark in the nation, Kenya, for many years to come. Mr. Speaker, sir, for many people, maybe understanding the plight of Gen Z was a very difficult issue. I have a daughter who is in Form 2, Mr. Speaker, and I was away. I called. She was in midterm break, and I called to say bye-bye because she was going back to school. And the only question she asked me, Baba, can I ask you something? Are you supporting the finance bill? And she's in a boarding school. And I told her, no, Baba, I'm not supporting. And she said, had you answered you're supporting Baba, I would never have been able to raise my head up in school because everybody knows my father is a member of parliament. These are the unfortunate scenarios we have, whereas maybe the adults don't understand. Our Gen Z have really understood what is bedeviling them. Mr. Speaker, sir, maybe it's worth to reflect on what is the true frustration of Gen Z. You look at the public service advertisement in Kenya. Only those that are able and have money will have access to opportunities in the public service, whether it is at the national level or at the county level. Now you have children going to school and going through the most levels of higher education, but with zero hope of getting employed. Then they look at the budget of the nation and they try and comb through the budget to see if there is only hope contained in that budget that is going to really help them out, and they see nothing. And they see an opportunity that oppresses more in the finance bill, and that has boiled into a situation where they had taken the matters into their hand. Madam Speaker, sorry, I did not notice the seat has changed. Madam Speaker, while I congratulate Gen Z for exercising their right to, demonstrate and share their concerns, I also wish to point out that the exercise of freedom of picketing should be practiced in moderation and with a lot of control, so that the exercise of that right does not infringe on the right of others, as it is. Madam Speaker, true wisdom lies in recognizing that smart people do not invite anarchy upon themselves, but rather find every little opportunity for them to fight anarchy. I was fortunate or unfortunate enough to have had experience in my past life as a pilot, to have worked with the UN agencies in more than 10 devastated countries. And that is, name them: South Sudan under Operation Lifeline Sudan, North Sudan, Darfur section, Central African Republic, Chad, Somalia, Afghanistan, Congo, Liberia, among others. And I've seen real life what anarchy means in terms of the level of devastation, the level of suffering, the level of human suffering mothers, women, and children undergo, for you to be able to imagine that this country can easily be allowed to go into anarchy. It is extremely important as leaders, and I want to take this opportunity at this juncture to really immensely appreciate the efforts of the House leadership, particularly the majority leader and the minority leader, for this bipartisan approach, for us to be able to do moments of sincere self-reflection as leaders in this country, and also as the moment